Everything starts from within, because if you're not going to solve the problem yourself, right, then like who else can help you?
Hi, I'm Asri.
Hi, I'm Nat.
Hi, I'm Charmaine.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is
ZULA ChickChats.
So today we're going to be talking about a more serious issue. It's a common problem that a lot of people face when they grow up, when they're younger, and it's about body image issues as well as like having an eating disorder. What exactly would you define as an eating disorder?
So basically, it's an illness whereby people are obsessed about their body shape or body weight. They have like irregular eating habits, so either they overeat or undereat.
I feel like it's when you don't have control of your own body anymore.
In that case, what are the common eating disorders you guys have heard of?
Bulimia and anorexia is the most common eating disorder. Bulimia is basically puking up your food after you eat because you don't feel good about eating. You feel guilty.
Anorexia is basically where they feel like they are overweight but actually they are not.
Yeah.
So they keep starving themselves.
Yeah, and they count their calories a lot. So their brain is like a calorie counter. Whatever they see the calories instead of like the food itself. There are other eating disorders like binge eating and muscle dysmorphia. Muscle dysmorphia is basically when someone is obsessed over needing more muscles. Like they always go to the gym and then like they pump, which can be like very detrimental to their health because you overwork your body.
So for you three, you have experienced and gone through an eating disorder before in your life, right? Maybe you want to share your experiences?
I used to be bulimic and I had binge eating also. I used to be really overweight. There's a picture of me. I got teased a lot in school. Even my brother, he like don't want to talk to me just because I'm fat. Like he embarrassed like why my brother is so fat. My father was like, can you stop being so like glutton? I stopped eating so much. At that point of time I was like, okay, this is a turning point for me. I mean, if someone mention it, means I have to take action. After I eat, then I will tell my friends, hey, I go toilet. So I will go to the furthest cubicle inside. I'll just vomit out everything. It feels like I ate but I didn't gain weight, that kind.
For me, it was bulimia as well, and I think like a little bit of anorexia, but I never really got diagnosed because I was scared. Started from primary 6. There used to be this game called Audition C, right? So it's like they have this couple system where like all the self-made would like go and find boyfriend. My first legit boyfriend was actually from there. I was 140 cm tall, but then I was like 65 to 70 kg, so that was like very overweight. He actually broke up with me, and I knew that was because like I was fat. Made some stupid excuse like how, because he was like 3 years older than me, so he said, actually I met this girl at a chalet, then I kissed her, so I always looked at her as like a sister. Yeah, so that was like the first trigger. And the second would be through puberty, right? People get to feel like more self-conscious about themselves. Then they're very particular about body image. Just I didn't go tough club for some reason. Like I was just exempted from it. People ask me like, why are you so fat? Why you never go tough club? During my primary school, some of the schools that have the metal buckle for you to hook, right? I was like constantly growing, right? So my mom had to like sew extra buckle. My friend asked me like, why do you need an extra buckle?
I suffer from bulimia and it started when I was 9. I was quite overweight at that point of time and a lot of people bullied me in school to the point where I had to eat my lunch in the bathroom. There was one time I couldn't fit into my jeans. Yeah, my mom started crying because she was like, why have you gotten so big and fat? Every time at recess I had to go to the bathroom. I remember eating my sandwich, then like just puking it out or just throwing my sandwich and not eating at all. It carried on for about 6 years until I was secondary school. Then I met my first boyfriend. He helped me get better, so I stopped for about a year. But then when I was 16, he cheated on me. He cheated on me a few times, and those few times he was always with girls that were very skinny. I started puking again, and it got like really very bad to the point that I had to go for therapy. I was trying to seek help but I couldn't get the help that was like good for me.
So did you guys tell anybody about this issue?
No, I didn't tell anyone. I was so embarrassed to tell my friends. I don't need the extra attention that I already have. I felt very helpless.
I used to have 2 best friends in secondary school. They were the only ones that knew about it. They couldn't really help me because they didn't understand what I was going through. And during that point of time, it was kind of like if you cut yourself, right? Some people may deem it as like you're trying your attention whore. In that sense, right? Like friends was like cut off for me.
I did tell some people who I felt like was important in my life. Every time I decide to take a step to tell people, they always give me the same reaction. It's always oh, then people don't know how to react to it. And I understand because I feel like this is not openly discussed in Singapore a lot. Like, it makes me feel very helpless, and my boyfriend was the only one that understood me. I didn't plan on telling him actually. Like, I was very embarrassed by it. There was one time I was puking after dinner, and then he heard me from outside the toilet. His toilet door can open one, like you can use a coin to like straight away he barged in on me. At that point of time I was like very angry with him for him to see me in such a pathetic loser state, right, with 2 fingers up my throat. Right, I just felt super invaded like my privacy. So I scolded him, like I said, why did you not knock? He sat me down and talked to me for like a few hours. There was like one sentence he told me, when you're doing this, you're not only like hurting yourself, you're hurting me too. He brought me out of it a little bit. Like, I'm getting better ever since that discussion.
I think it's very important for people you value in your life, right, to be there to support you. For example, like your boyfriend, like you said, he talked to you about it and he explained to you, you know, like it's important that you should take care of yourself and everything. Moving on to like how do you guys get over it, and how long do you take to get over it, and what do you do?
For me, how I got over it, right? So basically, don't think of what other people say. Focus on what you love. My friend introduced me like K-pop. After a while, I'm like, oh my god, like every day I must watch K-pop video. It brings my focus away from the bulimia. As day goes by, I didn't care much about it.
How I started to like want to get better was that because I kept puking like during school, and then I try to skip my breakfast. Then during dinner, I'll purge again. So like I actually like have broken capillaries on my face. You can see like this veins, right? If you keep purging, right, then what happens is that your blood vessels actually like explode, and these are like permanent scars. After you keep like inducing your vomit, after a while you're kind of like desensitized to the vomiting, and you have to keep forcing it down. So like I have teeth marks. Besides that, I also had a lot of like heartburns and gastric refluxes. So I kept going to the doctor. Everything starts from within, because if you're not going to solve the problem yourself, right, then like who else can help you? I stayed away from social media for a while. I also started counting like the amount of spoons that I ate every day. When the moment I start feeling full, right, then I just immediately stop and throw in my food. It's still unhealthy to limit the way you eat, but it was better than eating everything and then puking everything. So from there, like I got better. My last relapse was like 1.5 months ago. So it's normally when I'm forced to like eat buffets or like big family dinners, that's where the guilt like starts coming in.
I still have the eating disorder. Like I've not fully recovered, and I think my last puke was like 3 days ago. To be honest, right, like it still hit the way I look. So I cannot like stop what I'm doing. A lot of people who listen to these kind of stories, they'll just think that it's a very small, trivial matter. I think to us it's more of it affects our health. So what made me want to recover is also partly because of my health problems. I get acid reflux and I start puking up oil and bile. 1 year ago, I read this poem that said, if you're not recovering, you are dying. That struck me, and I stopped also for a few months. But I don't know when I will stop, but I'm on the way lah.
I think it's important to know that like it may not be immediate, like you can't immediately stop. Like I'm no expert on this and I've never gone through this before, but personally I would think that it's a mental challenge more than anything else. To overcome it, you definitely need to be able to be strong enough to tell yourself no. Do you think that media portrayal of this eating disorder, right, it actually encourages people to try it more, or like is it a positive or a negative situation in that sense?
There's pros and cons about it. For me, one part of like really identifying and taking a step forward is you have to admit that you have the problem yourself. Social media has definitely covered it a lot in a way that if you are able to identify like the symptoms and stuff, right, then you know it's going on. In that way it's good. But on the other aspect, whereby we have those like inaccurate viewpoints, it actually takes away value of what we're trying to do by like spreading awareness, because they are trying to glorify and make it seem like, you know, we are special.
For me, right, I learned how to puke through an Opto program. It's a kids channel. And this young kid like was a bit chubby. She wasn't even fat, she was just a bit chubby. She started like doing this at the basin and then she puked. So I tried that and I felt good, and it didn't stop after that. Yes, social media has its pros where it raises awareness, but the cons are that people can learn from it as well. Our catalogue is but like writing that article on
Yeah.
5 reasons why you should date a girl with eating disorder. One of the reason is like, oh, you pay less for her
Yeah, it's
meals.
like up.
Because
my
it's
God.
damn terrible. I think also the fact that some movies like they make it like romanticized.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole concept of like, oh, you need to find like love and then like someone will help you overcome it. You don't rely on another party to help you overcome it. I think from whatever I've heard, right, it's all a challenge from yourself. It's not like an idea where you're gonna fall in love with someone and that person is gonna like change you, you know what I mean?
I feel like the other person can help you through it, but he shouldn't be the one that is the reason for you to be like.
Yeah.
And I also feel like those model shows, right? And like celebrities online, the body image and
Yeah,
everything.
like the runway models
Yeah,
and
it
stuff.
really affects me because I watch American Next Top Model since like season 1, and like I always see they are stick thin, you know, and
Yeah.
you just think that that is the definition of beautiful.
What is something you can say to someone else who is still going through this problem?
Don't be afraid to tell people. You never know like what will happen or what will turn out. Just seek help. Like, don't be afraid. And if you don't know how, actually you can just like go to your nearby like clinic, and then they'll like refer you to hospitals, and they actually have programs to help you.
I still stick to my point that no matter like if you're just gonna see a doctor or this, right, it still won't work if it doesn't come from you. So most importantly is like you must have the mentality and the willpower to want to take that first step. Another thing that I realized about my entire journey was that it might be our own misconceptions that our friends will not, like we built this like invisible like barrier for ourselves that they won't understand and they are just going to mock us. There are good people in this world that actually will listen.
I would recommend you guys to confide to someone that you are really really close with. I had this best friend in poly and she called me at every single meal time. Whenever I have my relapses, even if it's like at 2 a.m. in the morning, she would still call me and talk me out of it. So these kind of people are the people that you should surround yourself with. I don't want to be contradictory because I still suffer from it, but as someone that has experienced it, I just want you to know that, you know, it's going to get better. It's not going to stay with you forever.
So today we talked about eating disorders, their symptoms, and how society needs to be aware about it.
Coming from someone and all of us who have experienced it, we feel like if you need help, we hope that you will take the baby steps to try to help yourself.
So let us know if you have any advice or something that you want to share to people who are going through this. And I think it's important to be supportive. So leave it in the comments and also let us know what else you want us to talk about next time.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below.
Bye!
Eat book also.